What's going on, you Sega Genesis enthusiasts out there? Your two favorite wild movie critics are back tonight with a very fun review tonight, we could say. A game that we grew up playing, the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Sega Genesis kids right here, 16-bit. And we loved it growing up, and it's now went into a new generation with our kids. We both took our sons to the movie theater to watch this week on Christmas week here. That's right, we're back to review Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
When we're done, there won't be anything left.
Hey, no cheat codes! What did you do?
What I had
That's right. These wild, crazy dads are back at it. Just past the holiday season here, Christmas. Of course, we took our kids over Christmas break to watch Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Both our, sons love these movies, love the games. It's fun being a dad and watching them play the games like we did 30 years ago and passing down the love of Sonic the Hedgehog. And of course, the third film, these movies are doing really well. Jeff Fowler, of course, directing this one again. A really great setup. We have Knuckles, Tails, Sonic reuniting basically to take on the new villain played by Keanu Reeves, Shadow. And of course, Dr. Robotnik returning, Jim Carrey coming out of retirement, apparently returning to this role, and one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, it's awesome that he's got a new franchise to show up in. He doesn't show up in any other movies. He comes and collects a big paycheck and just goes batshit crazy and goes all out as Jim Carrey. The old Jim Carrey that we love is very much a presence in this film, and it's a dual role this time. He's playing the younger version of himself that's down and out, has a huge gut, he's overeating, just miserable, not having a very good life. And then, with the introduction of Shadow here into the story, our heroes must actually go and recruit the help from Dr. Robotnik to take on Shadow. But I really love that introduction to the Shadow character, the whole scene there where they're chasing him into the city. And, this one, they have to go to England. And so it's international now. Sonic is, where the first two were, stateside. This one's going overseas and makes the whole movie, even that much bigger, brings it into the international territory. And Shadow, a villain that I do remember from the game series, more powerful than any of the three. It's going to take all three of them combined together to stop Shadow. And you really get the backstory of Shadow in this movie and why he ended up how he is, and his relationship with this young girl.
The whole intro of the Shadows character was incredible. Like you were saying, he was like government containment for many years. He escapes. Looks like something out of an action or sci-fi movie back in the 80s. He's in this water and escapes out of there, and of course sets up the rest of the film. But that introduction to that character, I really appreciated. My son loves Shadow. I remember, enjoying Shadow back in the day in the video games. I love Keanu Reeves. We've got Mr. John Wick here voicing the character, and really adds substance to that character and a lot of excitement and fun.
Yeah, I love the voice work from Keanu Reeves here. He's basically playing John Wick in the Hedgehog form and really sells it. It's really a great character for him. And, with his relationship that he builds with the girl, and you find out the heartbreak and why he is, how he is, and how he's suspicious of everybody and doesn't want to, team up with the other hedgehogs, and why he's resistant. And you find out that something happened to somebody he loved, of course. Just like the John Wick films, they killed his dog and that set off the whole thing. Well, they took away his best friend and somebody that really cared and loved, that he loved. So it kicks off another adventure here. And, like we mentioned before, the hedgehogs, along with Knuckles and Tails, they have to go recruit the help of Dr. Robotnik. And Dr. Robotnik here, he's down on his luck. He's depressed, overeating, watching old reruns on TV. And yeah, Jim Carrey is the old Jim Carrey in this movie, and I loved it. He's just over the top, chewing up scenery here. And eventually the story leads to him meeting up with his grandpa. And it's a really funny scene. They both have the long mustaches, and, having two Dr. Robotniks here was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like how they looked at the camera and talking about an actor playing two parts. That was hilarious. And I love him playing
Yeah.
the older character, the grandpa character, obviously prosthetics and things like that, but essentially the
Mhm.
same person. And I love how they were like in VR and enjoying time together. Basically, it was like the holidays and like Halloween and
Right.
Christmas. He jumps on them. A lot of great comedy in this, like laugh out loud
Yeah.
moments that, adults and kids will both enjoy. And, it's Jim Carrey. It's Jim Carrey, the one that we love from the 90s, just chewing up scenery, having a blast, giving it his all, and just enjoying the character in the movie. And you can really see it in this film. And I thought
Mhm.
he elevated it from the, part two. I thought he was a lot better in this one, playing two characters. And obviously, throughout the movie, you find out more of the backstory of the grandpa, what that's all about.
Yeah, seeing him get to do both. He was the villain in the first two, and this one, he's more sympathetic in the first half, and then he also gets to play the villain too. It's really fun, and I felt like that part was mainly for the adults. And then you have all the Sonic action with all, the fight scenes and the chases and using all the powers, the rings, and all the lore from the Sega games that we grew up with. I love the pace that these movies have. They're fast paced. Never a dull moment. It goes right into the action. And at the end of the film, it sets up the next installment. So we're just going to keep on going into this Sonic train, keep on making these. There's more characters to come. I love the teases at the end. This was a blast to spend the matinee on Christmas week with our sons. And I'd say that we highly recommend Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
I would have to agree with you. Seeing this on December 20th, kicking off Christmas break, I was really looking forward to it, enjoying the first two films, of course, the video games, picking up my son to go see it. We went to the theater like 11 o'clock showing. It was packed. It was crazy. All kids and families. Everybody had a great time in the theater. Everybody was applauding and laughing, and it was just a great theater experience. This is a movie you definitely should check out on the big screen. I think you'll have a really great time with it. And of course, a movie for everybody, old dads or old parents that grew up with the video games and Sega, passing it down to the new generation of kids getting introduced to this. And sign me up for more movies. I know they have Sonic 4 they just announced, but hell, give us 10 of these. I'm on board for it. Great theater
Yeah.
experience. Had a great time. All the voice actors, of course, all the characters. Love the introduction. Shadow. Love Jim Carrey, Dr. Robotnik, and Grandpa. Probably the MVP of the movie, and I love of course, all the supporting cast, James Marsden, the rest of them showing up in this movie. The third act was awesome, great fight scenes, and setting up for the next film, and some more characters going to be popping up in the post-credit scene. So, had a great time with Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Definitely check it out. So that being said, I'm going to give Sonic 3, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Sonic hair pieces.
There's a lot of fun vehicles for Dr. Robotnik in this, the crab, a lot of technology and use of AI and virtual reality, like you mentioned. Like the tech keeps getting cooler in these movies. The characters get more powers, all the characters doing what they do best, Knuckles fighting, Tails with the flying. There's several cool scenes in this, like the ones where Tails actually gets wings and is like gliding behind is really cool. Sonic, and then Shadow came in and added a little element of danger to the whole universe, and I hope we see more from that character. I loved Keanu Reeves joining this; just added something to it, and having the dual Dr. Robotniks was awesome. I mean, we can't complain for this movie at all, and can't wait for the next installment. And I am going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 Wade Whipple hair pieces.
Anyways, want to hear from all you hedgehogs out there. What did you like about Sonic the Hedgehog 3? What didn't you like about it? What's your favorite film in the trilogy thus far? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out these wild uncles on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV, movie, news, and reviews.
Well, it's time to get back down to Cinephellas Studios and play around a Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis. So until the next Cinephellas movie review, I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and that's my good mate,
Logan Whipple, signing out until the next movie review. Cheers!
Laser strikes cause explosions, so stay clear then, too.